Good evening. It is 19 hours 1 in Ghana and right across the Eastern Caribbean. My name is Joshua Van Slyckman, and this is your evening newscast, for today, Thursday, April 21st, 2022. Let's get to the news in details. ExxonMobil's subsidiary, Esso Exploration and Production Ghana Limited, has revealed that the country's imminent gas-to-energy project, to be based in Wales in Region 3, will cost way more than the initial $900 million US. In fact, the aspect of the project for which the oil company is responsible, that is to say the installation of the onshore and offshore pipelines, is set to cost a whopping $1.3 billion US. This was noted in the environmental impact assessment that was prepared for the project. In the assessment, ESSO said it has not yet made a final investment decision on the project and is continuing to evaluate cost considerations during the project development process. But for the time being, it said the current project cost estimate is approximately 260 billion Ghana dollars or 1.3 billion US dollars. It warned that a higher certainty cost estimate would be developed after receiving and negotiating all major contracts. The majority of persons who took part in the International Republican Institute IRI National Public Opinion poll last January are unaware as to where they could access information relating to how the government will be spending profits gained from the country's oil reserves. A sizable portion of the 1,500 persons who took part in the survey also related that a lack of interest in political news and information. These and other factors, some members of society believe, are contributing to the grim reality that despite the presence of oil and its massive potential to lift Ghana out of poverty, a large section of society seems uninterested in knowing about the new industry. Meanwhile, the IRI poll found that out of the 1,500 persons questioned from around the country, only 2% of that number felt that the oil extraction industry is an important problem facing the country. Firefighters on Wednesday recovered the charred remains of a woman who was burned to death inside of her Bachelor's Adventures home located on the east coast of Demerara. She was identified as Nicola Jacobs, a 51-year-old domestic worker employed with the St. Joseph Mercy Hospital and a mother of 10. According to her children, her partners, a 34-year-old man who lived with her, is claiming that the woman had set herself on fire following an argument they had, but they went to the police to conduct a thorough investigation into the matter because she was reportedly packing up her clothes to move out when the tragedy happened. The woman's daughter, Jamaica, said that even if it is a cause of suicide, they want the police to investigate because their mother was a strong-willed person who fought herself out of difficult situations. Meanwhile, despite concerns being raised by environmentalists regarding the credibility of the Environmental Resource Management, the lone consultant that has been conducting environmental impact assessments for ExxonMobil, the company as well as the local regulator, the EPA, has approved the firm to conduct such a study, this time for the gas-to-energy project. This was revealed yesterday when the EIA was released and opening the 60 days period for the public to make submission to the EPA on the proposed project. So far, ERM has been the only consultant since 2017 that has been conducting environmental impact assessments on behalf of the oil operator Esso. To this end, during the last public consultation hosted in November on the Yellowtail project, the most recent to be approved environmental activities questioned the independence and credibility of ERM. Attorney at law Nivran Singh, son of the former Chancellor of the Judiciary, Karl Singh, was on Wednesday placed on $100,000 bail when he denied a charge of allegedly using racial slur towards an Afro-Guyanese policewoman who was tasked with guarding his residence. It is alleged that Singh unlawfully it is alleged that Singh unlawfully attempted to excite racial hostility or ill will against Police Constable Shonet Bollers. He pleaded not guilty to the charge, which stated that on March 20th, by means of words spoken by him in a public place, willfully exited or attempt to excite hostility and ill will against Bollers on the grounds of her race as an Afro-Guyanese by using word directed to her and published by him. Chief Magistrate McLennan granted bail and ordered the lawyer not to make contact or cause any want to make contact with ballers. He is expected to make his next court appearance on May 18, 2022. And finally, at this time, President Irfan Ali has appointed Major General retired Joe Singh as chairman of the Natural Resources Fund Board, the Office of the President said in a statement on Wednesday. He also picked UK Member of Parliament David Lammy as former Foreign Affairs Minister and now Ghana. He also picked UK Member of Parliament David Lammy and former Foreign Affairs Minister and now Guyana's permanent representative to the United Nations, Carlin Rodrigues. They will now join Dunstan Barrow and Mr. Ramesh Duku as the Board of Directors, the OP stated. And with that, we've come to the end of your evening newscast on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. I am Joshua Van Slegman. Thank you for joining us.
Applaud her. But I'd like to see her do some more, as I did write and was carried in the paper, in this paper, Kaieteur News. I said that when women, regardless of who's involved, but particularly women, because the minister has done a tremendous job for battered women, children, spouses, people who are hurting. And I don't care what the critics say, but I think she's really taken her portfolio to heart, and she's done well. And I congratulate her. I like that. I'd like to see more ministers doing that. But when she balked, when Minister Prasad balked at coming out against and saying very clearly to her colleague and comrade in the cabinet, in the parliament, that what he did related to sex toys and is directed against other females, I thought she lapsed. I thought she erred rather terribly and at a very sensitive time on a sensitive issue. I expected better from her. I thought I knew more. I knew her to be better than this. But sadly, I am disappointed. Let me tell you something, my fellow Guyanese. It's one of the reasons why I have never belonged to any particular party. Why I like the role of an outsider. You know why? Because then I don't have to be one for all and all for one. I can't live with that. I couldn't live with myself. I have called out my own mother, my siblings, my father. And those people are dear to me. I've had issues with close friends, and I'm sure they've had with me. But here's the bottom line. There comes a time when we have got to stand up and say, that was wrong. And I think you need to say, I'm sorry. And the next thing you need to do is not to do it again. Make every effort to be strong, to be sensible, to be wise, and to be somebody of integrity and principle and honor. I think that the lifetime restraining order is a great step, and I hope it corrects the businessman, and I hope that the Minister of Human Services corrects her position by doing what is right with her colleague, that is, calling him out, and in no uncertain terms. I'm GHK Lal on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Thank you for listening to the National Outlook.